The Blues posted a 22-point improvement in 90-91 to finish with 105 points, their highest total in a decade and second most in franchise history. Brett Hull scored an amazing 86 goals, 35 more than anyone else in the league. Hull's 131 points were also a personal best and were good enough to be second in league scoring. His teammate and centerman, Adam Oates, finished just behind him in third with a career-high 115 points. Vincent Riendeau saw the bulk of action in net and enjoyed his best season, losing just 9 of 44 decisions. The Red Wings finished third in the Norris with 76 points. Captain Steve Yzerman was second in the league in goals with 51 and seventh in points with 108. Rookie Sergei Fedorov had 31 goals, including 5 game winners, as well as 79 points. In his first full year between the pipes, Tim Cheveldae posted 30 wins and 3 shutouts. However, he had no playoff experience at all. St. Louis had dominated the season series, winning 6 of the 8 games, outscoring Detroit 37-24 in the process. Most believe the Blues' biggest opponent would be the overconfidence and the complacency that usually accompanies it. However, Game 1 would remind both teams how quickly the regular season can be forgotten.
We mentioned in our open that this is a mismatch on paper, but you have to remember one thing. The St. Louis Blues overachieved all season long, didn't they?
Moves along, eyed up by Butcher, tried to center, but Butcher said no. Burr swings it behind, picked up by Miller, to the back for McCrimmon, shot, he scores! Brad McCrimmon, and it may have been tipped en route by Sean Burr, but the Red Wings have gotten the first goal of the series.
We just talked about it. Getting on the board, taking the crowd out of it. And remember, this is the Fedorov line out there against the Adam Oates line. So not only has Detroit so far stopped Adam Oates and his guys, Brett Hull especially, but now they've drawn first blood. Yeah, it looked like it was deflected. Adam Oates looked like he was lifting up his left leg. It may have deflected off his skate.
The lone goal coming from Brad McCrimmon in the first period. Yzerman lays this one along for Bob Probert. Probert stepped in 2 from behind, casually walks away to Yzerman, out in front, backhander, score! Yzerman, and it's 2-0, the Red Wings lead.
You can't keep greatness down. Steve Yzerman can beat you by himself if you give him a chance to, and he had too much time behind the net. One thing Detroit knows about St. Louis, as the entire hockey world knows, they don't go away. I mean, you cannot beat their spirit. So St. Louis had come out in this period and dominated Detroit.
Hands it back on the point. Across it comes to Doug Crossman. Looks again, Fedorov directing some traffic at the other point. Yzerman to Yzerman, he scores! Steve Yzerman on the power play, and the Red Wings have the lead in the game, 3-0.
Steve Yzerman is hit for 2 in the second period. This one from the slot.
Sent away by Crossman, turned by Hull for Stevens' shot, and that one was tipped and didn't miss by much. Sped across off Fedorov, knocked loose in front, backhander save, another save made by Cheveldae. As the Blues are getting a lot more going on this one, but they have yet to score. Hull just misfired on the pass and looked right up to the ceiling. Cavallini, a shot knocked down, rebound Lowry, and popped it high and wide. Out in front, Hull scores!
Well, Goliath has just come through with a stone of his own. No sooner had I mentioned the Fedorov line dominating Brett Hull, Dave Lowry, and Adam Oates than the Oates line clicks. Adam Oates paid the price, took a hit behind, moved it out to Brett Hull.
Cavallini eyed up by Racine, hooked at from behind by Fedorov, and here's Fedorov. Might get a breakaway out of this. Fedorov moving right in. Look, shoot, score! Sergei Fedorov makes it 4-1 in favor of Detroit.
Smooth stride, no upper body movement, great leg strength. That's a major league goal in any country.
Fedorov's goal at 1:52 unassisted. Crossman over for the drive by Yzerman, and another chop at the front of the net, and Riendeau got that one. As taking a couple of whacks was big Bob Probert.
4-1 lead, they're on the power play, so unless St. Louis can strike for a short-hander, another 2 minutes will slip by. Bob Probert banged away at the rebounds, and he got banged. 14:25 to go, and the Blues trailing 4-1. And Belfour played in 74 games, yet they used 5 in all.
Burr with a pass on ahead to Kevin Miller. Miller tries to finesse by and does. A shot saved by Riendeau. He scores! I thought Riendeau had it, but it popped back over the goal line, and it counts. What a play by Kevin Miller. And it is 5-1 in favor of Detroit.
Kevin Miller can play every forward position. He is playing on their top defensive line. And there's a good look at his offensive ability.
You look at the spirit that St. Louis carried down the stretch, winning the last 7. Detroit a little uncertain. Only won 2 of the last 7. To Brown and Hull. Cranks a shot and it went wide. Around now to Oates. Oates looking things over. Big shot by Brown went wide and doing the split Chevelday. And it's tucked in off a Red Wing, and it's a power play goal that makes it 5-2. So Kevin Miller doing a strong job in what will become a shorthanded role in a moment. 15 seconds from now, the Blues will start that power play. And they score! A crazy bounce, but it's in! Probert has Yzerman and headmans it to him. Probert heads for the net. Yzerman a shot, he scores! Steve Yzerman with the hat trick, and it's 6-3.
Boy, I'm impressed with a couple of aspects of this goal. Bob Probert gave Yzerman time. You know, that actually went up on end and flat on Yzerman's stick.
Here's a chance for Fedek with 12 seconds to go. Cranks one, save Jablonski. Rebound, finesse to the front. Still they scrap for it, and Shuchuk was trying his best to work it free for Fedek to have another try, but the Red Wings converted on all the tries they needed in this one. A splendid 60 minutes from the goalkeeper, Tim Chevelday, on out. And another surprise in Game 1 of a Stanley Cup playoff series this year.
Who said this team couldn't win on the road? Must have been me. The Red Wings won 8 road games this season, but they have come here to St. Louis in Game 1. Not only have they won, they have scored 6 goals. On the 3rd best defensive team in the National Hockey League. They have a lot to be proud of.
The Blues had outshot the Wings 40-27, but had been unable to overcome Tim Chevelday's brilliance and Steve Yzerman's hat trick. Just days after completing one of the best regular seasons in franchise history, St. Louis had to win Game 2 or head to Detroit in a deep hole.
23 seconds from now, the first penalty will be up. Yzerman holds, plays it across. Racine has to get control at the boards. The look to Carson, the give to Crossman. Back to Racine once again. Racine fires, score! It is a 5-on-3 power play goal, and so the Red Wings still have power play time coming after they cracked home their first goal.
Doug Crossman had it back on the blue line. He dumped it over to the side. You can see in front, Fedorov trying to hold his ground. Scott Stevens banging away at him. You know what, from that angle, it looked as if the puck may have even deflected off of Stevens' leg or Fedorov's leg. Yves Racine's shot may have changed direction.
Red Wings for 5 for 20 in 5-on-3s during the year. The Blues 2 for 18, yielding only twice in 18 kills. Big shot by Fedorov, snapped right up by Riendo, and he'll hang on. Then over for Oates again. Fed from Quinn to Oates and across to Brown. They work the outside. Quinn across. Oh, and a shot by Tuttle, blocked away. Yzerman able to motor ahead. Hands over for Oates. Quick shot, snapped up and held by Chevelday. Picked up again by Yzerman. Wrist shot, pad stop, rebound, score! Bob Probert on the rebound. Riendo without a stick. It's 2-0 in favor of Detroit.
Boy, you want to talk about some dominant forechecking, especially by Bob Probert. And here's one of the problems that St. Louis will have against a big forward like Bob Probert. The centers are small for St. Louis. Even Bob Basson, 5'10", 180. Probert is a giant compared to Basson. And a lot of times on this particular play, see, Basson 28, he was trying to control Bob Probert. Could not do it. Meanwhile, Yzerman jammed into Riendo, and in the process of the whole pileup, Riendo lost his stick. But there is Basson over in the corner trying to control Bobby Probert, and he simply could not do it. Yzerman, with good support, came in to help. Good pinch by Doug Crossman. And finally, Yzerman's spin-around shot from the slot got in tight. Bob Probert was there for the rebound, and his size just dominated there.
Standing right in front of Chevelday is Brindamore. Hull feeds one in front. Quinn a shot, knocked down in front, and covering is Chevelday.
Brett Hull with a beautiful pass through a seam to Dan Quinn. Quinn took very little time to transition into a shooting position, got rid of it. Chevelday was right there. This wasn't even close. I mean, you want to talk about anticipation. Cheveldae anticipated so well, he almost slid through the save.
He wanted Jimmy Carson. Merwa leads one ahead. Hall in alone. Save made by Cheveldae, and he hangs on.
Tried to go high to the glove. Forget it. Cheveldae got it, was able to squeeze it off, but in the process, Bobby Dallas did in fact slash Brett Hull. And Dallas is off for a slash.
Tips it across, left behind by Jimmy Carson. Oates able to control and keep play alive. Hands over to Hull. Back it comes to Brown. Fires a shot, he scores!
The people here are standing. They realize 14 minutes and 32 seconds remain in the third period. Brett Hull and Adam Oates are back together. Long pass to Jeff Brown. It's the first time that Tim Cheveldae has looked human. He went down to his knees. There was space between his legs. I'm not sure whether that was tipped on the way to him or not, but it got by him. Oates to Brett Hull, and then Hull found a seam all the way back to Jeff Brown. No, that looked like a straight-in shot. So the Blues have cut the margin to 1.
Is met by Racine and Probert, and a chance now for Yzerman. Wheeling in, Butcher is nearby, and a shot is snapped up by Riendo. And Riendo hangs on, the whistle blown. Riendo showed a quick glove of his own there, as that might have been the one that the Red Wings could have used to bury the Blues. Oates just controlling and will carry on himself. Cranks one around the wall. Cheveldae allows it to go. Kick back in front. Off of him. Back in his
The Blues are alive and well. Adam Oates' dump around just about came back off the boards and slipped into the goal. It didn't, but the Red Wings misplayed. Dan Quinn, Johnny on the spot. Beautiful backhand spinorama move. And finally, Dan Quinn can let off some celebration steam. The Blues have tied it 2-2.
Quinn with a beautiful finesse move to shift to the backhand and tuck it through the pads of Cheveldae. A power play goal has knotted it up. That went off Bobby Dallas's stick and ricocheted right to where Quinn made an artful play to not only control but let the shot go. And as Riendo has come up with a couple of very big saves here in this third period. One when it was 2-1 in favor of the Detroit Red Wings, and now when it's 2-2. A steal by Oates for Hull, and it's blocked down by McCrimmon. Another shot, he scores!
What was Bobby Dallas thinking here? All kinds of time. He had to know Adam Oates was coming from behind because he saw him coming before he turned. But he waited, took a hit right there from Oates. It went Oates out to Brett Hull. The first one was blocked. The second one wasn't by anybody. Tim Cheveldae had lost his footing somehow.
And watching him is Stevens. Puck for Fedorov. Tries to jam the front of the net. Can't do it. Loose one picked up. Turning it around is Probert. Quick shot save. Rebound sent wide by Stevens to the corner. 40 seconds to go. Yzerman flipped one that Stevens blocked down. Sutter drills one in.
The Red Wings had their chances. And that long shot by Rich Sutter has basically sewn it up. Fedorov had tried to jam his way to the front. You could see there was no room at all. Bob Probert fanned on it a couple of times, but finally got this shot right through to Vincent Riendo, and that was the Wings' best chance.
Carson and Oates on the tie-up. Harold Sneps emerges with it. Harold will rag out the time. And the Blues have evened the series with the Detroit Red Wings at a game apiece.
might have been for a Detroit Red Wings team can only be something that they can speculate on now, Mike. 2-0 lead going into the third period of Game 2, up 1-0 in the series. The Red Wings were caught and passed by the Blues. 4-2 the final here, and the series is even.
Behind his net. Into the corner, now to McCrimmon. Up the boards to Fedek. He tips it ahead at center ice, and Burr rams down the Blues. Paul Cavallini, and there'll be a penalty. And Fedek and Butcher mix it up a bit. Burr could easily get a charging call. Oh, did he run Paul Cavallini? And of course, the Detroit Red Wings unhappy about all the hitting they took from the Blues Saturday night in St. Louis.
Well, it happened along the far boards in front of the Red Wing bench. He shows good speed in coming to center, but showing equally good speed is Fedorov, and oh, is he ever decked by Stevens at center ice. What a hip check.
After Fedorov caught up with him back checking. That's pretty impressive. And then the check by Scott Stevens. Almost an arm shoulder check. Passing over the line. Tries to pass it in front. Does to Wilson. The Butcher, a shot and a great save. Fedorov breaks away. A breakaway. Sergei Fedorov shoots. Hits the post. Hits the post.
There's Yzerman behind his goal. Up on right wing to Sillinger. Pass to center. Butcher there for Lowry. Now across the line to Basson with Paul Cavallini, 2-on-1. Basson right in, a shot. He scores! Bob Basson! And the Blues break the scoreless drought as Basson gets his first goal of the series.
The Detroit Red Wings had only 2 shots in the first period. Their game plan, come out hitting, but the Blues have withstood it.
Now the Red Wings tie it off the draw. Miller has tied the game. It's 1-1.
Who's been brilliant tonight. Crossman from the point into the slot, and it's turned in, and it's 1-1.
Blocked. And Kevin Miller for Detroit. To Fedorov into the zone. Look out! Knocked flying by Stevens. A shot by Miller and Riendo. A pad save on Miller.
The puck in the corner. Detroit has it. Yzerman out to the youngster Mike Sillinger to Primo. Breakaway, and he scores. Keith Primo scores on another Detroit breakaway, and they've had 4 of them tonight. Their #1 draft pick, 1990, 19-year-old Keith Primo, and it's 2-1 Detroit.
A good pass from Yzerman at center ice, and Sillinger, the rookie, finds Primo behind the defense. And he beats Riendo low glove side here at 1:12. And the Red Wings take a 2-1 lead on a goal by Keith Primo.
14:15 to go in the third. Dallas dumps it in. The 2 clubs are changing. Riendo leaves the puck. It's taken by Yzerman in front of backhand shot. Great save, Riendo on Yzerman. Holy cow, Yzerman.
Detroit dangerous again. Yzerman just picked up a loose puck behind the net. Had one chance, had another in Riendo.
He'll flip it in. Mahar after it. McCrimmon gets the puck in a nice play. He tries to clear it out and can't. Then it comes ahead to Carson. 2-on-1 with Primo. Carson shoots. He scores! Jimmy Carson. And it's 3-1 Detroit. A 2-on-1 rush for the Red Wings.
Well, a 2-on-1. Carson and Primo. Brown got a piece of it. So did Riendo. But it went into the top corner. And Carson gets his first of the playoffs at 8:34. And the Red Wings take a 3-1 lead on the play. Stevens pinched in. He took a big run at McKay and left Brown back there to defend against the 2-on-1. And Carson scores. Normally Brown plays these very well. He did a good job there.
Face off, back to Chase on a shot. They score on a deflection. Steve Chason right off the face-off from the left point. And now they're delirious here at Joe Louis Arena.
It is 4-1 Detroit.
Well, that's the second goal tonight. The Red Wings have scored off a faceoff as Oates lost the draw. And Chason let it go. It might have been tipped in, Ken. And it's 4-1, 2 goals in 31 seconds.
Many observers around the NHL felt that Brett Hull could be stopped in the playoffs. Here the Blues intercepting. Paul Cavallini to Gino Cavallini. A shot. He scores! Gino Cavallini scores with 1:21 to go. And the Wings lead is now 4-2.
One goal in his last 39 games before this one. Right wing circle. He just lets it go and right through the legs of Cheveldae. That's the third goal in this series and the third in the last 2 games that have gone right through the legs of Cheveldae. Both Brown and Quinn's goals in game 2.
Featherstone, long pass, too far by Lowry, no icing. 2 seconds to go, Wings with it. And it's over. Detroit has again stunned the Blues. They do it here on their home ice. The final in game 3, the Detroit Red Wings 5 and the St. Louis Blues 2. And the Wings will take the lead into game 4 here on Wednesday.
Hit the net.
Here's a shot, they score! Chason from the point, another face-off, and the Wings score the first goal. Chason.
Well, Carson on the draw. Beats Bob Bass, and it comes to Chason left point. And Sneps tried to block it, but it went through his legs and by Riendo. That's the third goal the Wings have scored in the last 2 games off a faceoff. A good low shot sails right by the right blocker of Riendo, and the Red Wings strike first and lead 1-0.
Chason to Yzerman at center ice. He stops as well as anyone in the league. Now he carries on into the corner. Yzerman behind the Blues net. Yzerman on the other side. The penalty is over. Yzerman still with it in the slot. He shoots, and a glove save by Riendo after an incredible bit of work by the Detroit captain, Steve Yzerman. And with 5:10 to go in this first period, many here in Detroit giving Yzerman a standing ovation, and what a dazzling save by Riendo.
What a dazzling play by Yzerman, and a great glove save by Vince Riendo. How he saw that, I don't know. And
it's cleared but not out, kept in by Brown over to Oates. Oates at the right point to Brown, straight away, too well covered. Now to Hall on the far boards. Blues now go to 1-2-2 offensively in front to Quinn. A shot, and he scores! Dan Quinn close in, a little tap in, and the Blues get the power play goal to tie it at 1. Just after they had adjusted to that Red Wing penalty killing and gone to 1 man at the point and 2 in and 2 near the net, and it's 1-1 now.
Ken, the Blues have been reluctant, not only in this series, but all year long at times, to get the puck in deep and make a fancy pass, take a chance. They did that here, and Quinn scores on his second opportunity. That's his second goal of the series. Both have come on the power play, but a good pass by Brind'Amour to Quinn at the edge of the crease. And he ties the game at 18-10. Brind'Amour and Hull will get the assists. Here's Miller in on right wing for Rick Zombo. In the slot, McKay is there. Riendo, a save, rebound. Glove save, Riendo. Highway robbery there, and he holds on. And that was his best stop of the night.
What a great stop by Riendo.
Up for Rod Brind'Amour on left wing to Dan Quinn. He has the only Blues goal now to Hall on right wing around the fence. In on goal. Cheveldae, a pad save on Hall as he cut around the defense. Brind'Amour centers it, no one there. Back to Crossman. Right wing side to Chason. Chason fakes it. Now to Doug Crossman. Into Fedorov on left wing. In front, Chason, a shot, he scores! Chason, a power play goal. That's 2-1.
17:05, the time of the goal. In front, Yzerman trying to get position. Stevens working on him, and Chiasson gets a clear shot from the slot. The Wings, in a sense, were being kept on the perimeter by the Blues. But Chiasson moved in. The Blues box broke down a little bit when Kevin Miller went across the slot. Finally ends up with it. Looks up ice and feeds a long pass to Hull at center ice, who leaves it for Brind'Amour. 2-1, the Blues trail. Trailing in the series 2-1. The pass to Quinn. On to Hull, a shot. He scores! An unbelievable shot again by Brett Hull from the slot. And that ties it at 2. Brett Hull does it again.
Brind'Amour makes a good pass to Quinn. He leaves it for Hull. And in the slot, Brett Hull, with 3 players around him, finds an opening behind Cheveldae. But 2 good passes from Brind'Amour and Quinn. Hull makes a move by Fedek, and his quick snapshot, that's his forte, the quick snapshot. 2 Red Wings go down. They fail to block it. Cheveldae fails to block it, and the Blues have tied the game on Hull's 4th goal of the series.
Face off in the St. Louis end. Stevens hassled behind the net. Wings intercept to the point. Zombo shoots. He scores! Rick Zombo! And that gives Detroit the lead again as the Wings do some good forechecking, and Scott Stevens has the puck stripped away, and they go crazy here at Joe Louis Arena.
Stevens behind his net. The Blues won the draw, but Stevens lost it, and Garpenloff fed it back. Zombo shot, I think, hit someone in front and went over Riendo's left shoulder. He had no idea where the puck was. Garpenloff made the pass, and then I think the shot hit someone in front.
He plays it up an open side, and Fedorov gets there. Up to Kevin Miller, back to Fedorov, 3-on-1. Over the line, into Fedek. Fedek shoots and scores! Brent Fedek, a 3-on-1 Detroit break, and it is 4-2 Red Wings.
Well, the Blues gambled steps, got caught in deep. A 3-on-1 break, and Fedorov makes a great pass to Fedek. Riendo, really not much of a chance. Fedek's first goal of the playoffs, and it's 4-2 Detroit as the Blues gambled, and they got burned, and Fedek scored high to make it 4-2.
Oh, this youngster, Sergei Fedorov, maybe as skilled as anyone in the NHL. Now play in the corner. Gino Cavallini, a crunching check on Burr. Puck in the corner again. Gino gets it. 2 outs, moving in front to Hull. A shot. He scores! Brett Hull nets one with 2:51 to go in the 3rd period. Set up by Gino Cavallini and Adam Oates, and the Blues maybe never say die, are back to within 1, trailing it now 4-3. 9 seconds to go. Sends it in front. Knocked down. Cleared by Burr. Not out. Hull a shot blocked. 2 seconds. Brown a shot. It goes wide, and the Red Wings have won it 4-3. The upset-minded Detroit Red Wings, underachievers in the regular season, have been overachievers here in the first round of the playoffs, and they win Game 4 of this best-of-7 Norris Division semifinal series 4-3.
Meanwhile, Burr steers it off for Fedorov. Moving in with Dallas. Fedorov goes down. Backhander save. Rebound. Another one. They score! Fedorov with a remarkable play. And then on the rebound, Bobby Dallas puts it in. It's 1-0 in favor of Detroit.
Well, Brian Murray got the matchup that he wanted. He got the Fedorov line out there against the Hull line, but even more than that, he ended up getting Sergei Fedorov isolated right here in a one-on-one situation with Brett Hull. Hull was back covering for one of his D-men. You want to talk about perseverance? From flat on his face, Sergei Fedorov got a shot on Vincent Riendo that he wasn't able to handle. The rebound came out to Bobby Dallas, who got not only 1 shot, but 2 shots at it before anybody got there to take him. Perseverance by Fedorov and Bobby Dallas.
Trying to turn it along his Oates, and he's able to escape that hard hit from Miller. Ahead with this now comes Oates. Moves in and fires. Score!
Will be left to the St. Louis Blues star players to carry the load. They need help, but they have to carry the majority of it. A huge shot from Adam Oates beat Tim Cheveldae to the long side. Cheveldae gave him a bunch of room. I think this angle will see it. But there was a St. Louis Blues player cutting through the middle that I think Cheveldae picked up visually. You can see there was quite a bit.
Probert stepped into by Oates. Puck punched along by Mark Potvin. Probert points back for Crossman. Just walled right off by Gino Cavallini, and ahead is Hall. Hall fakes a drive, gets around, score!
Chason down for the block, not so fast. Chason spun out. That left Hall wide open to go around him. How long did it take Brett Hull to get rid of this shot? None. And he had to put it in off the post. He hit the post twice in the first 2 minutes of Game 4. He has hit the post here, but this time he got the bounce off the post that he...
Taken by Brindamore with good control, then up for Oates. Oates drops for Brown, who carries in. The drop to Oates, looks for Hall. Couldn't get it through to him. Puck followed up by Brindamore, and he can't get to the front. Knocked down and picked up by Brown. His shot knocked down. Loose in front.
Dominant here in the first period after falling behind by one. But one of the keys, Mike, I think, is that there aren't any St. Louis Blues that are on their backs. I mean, Brindamore was down, but he fell down. Nobody hitting. And Detroit in Game 4 hit the St. Louis Blues all over the place. You give Oates and Hall time to stand around in front of the net and grab rebounds, and this is what will happen. Adam Oates has scored his second of the game.
Hall controls, but couldn't get a good shot away. Fedorov back to get it. Dumps it back off. Kept alive by Brown to Paul Cavallini. Fires, holds, score!
Has really been under the gun. The people here have booed him in the first 2 games, but man, did he make a smart shot on this play. Steve Chason again.
Burr checked his man. That was Jeff Brown. Puck came to Gino Cavallini again. Tied up by Burr. Gets back up to play again, and Burr right on him. Oates comes by 2. Stepped into by Zombo, but he's loose and walks right in. Backhander, score!
Well, the hats have begun to fly here at the St. Louis Arena. Adam Oates has just collected his 3rd goal to give the St. Louis Blues a 5-1 lead.
Cavallini carried off behind, still up with it though. Back to Brown for a shot. That tipped loose, and then Hall shanked one wide of a vacated net. Out in front, Gino Cavallini turns it wide. Now Adam Oates for Hall, score! Lifted. Now on second effort does, and Randy McKay says, okay, let's go. And a couple of heavyweights, McKay and Kimball.
Boy, look out. Kimball with the left and McKay with the right. Let's see who can land the most.
Both of these guys had 20 fights during the course of the season. Oh.
Well, that left landed from Darren Kimball.
Well, Primo and Featherstone. Featherstone with a right, and Primo was just trying to get back up and is back down. Undaunted by that, he's back on his feet. The linesmen have just come from escorting a couple of players off. Now Brindamore wants to get in the direction of Primo. And it's Jimmy Carson who's in the way.
Well, when Primo got up and Brindamore came by, it looked like he clipped him on the chin with a straight left.
For 30 minutes, the singers have sung, but now it's dancing time.
Ooh, here we go now. Look at this, Potvin and Marois. Mark Potvin and Mario Marois. Potvin went down first on that one. So if you're scoring takedowns or knockdowns, score 2 consecutive victories for St. Louis.
And Sutter was quite upset after Game 4 here in Detroit. He was not happy with his club's play in that 4-3 loss, but he said, don't count us out yet. We're not done.
And finally, Racine gets it. Great pass up the middle to Primo. Around Mahar, he shoots it in, and Brown clears the zone. The puck comes to Rick Mahar. Left wing to Dave Tomlinson. Good chance. He shoots. He scores! Dave Tomlinson in his second game since coming up from Peoria. Cruises in on the left wing and lets a low blistering shot go that beats Cheveldae. And the Blues take the lead 1-0.
He can't clear it away. Garpenloff gave it away to Quinn. Dan Quinn back to Brown on the point. A wrist shot. He scores! Jeff Brown, and the Blues lead 2-0.
What a big goal that is. The Blues convert on a giveaway by Detroit. Garpenloff had problems. Quinn got the puck, and he did a wonderful thing. He didn't shoot, but he sends it back to the point. Right wing dot, but a lot of legs in his way. So he goes to Brown, who lets a wrist shot go upstairs over the glove of Tim Cheveldae. And the Blues take the lead 2-0. Jeff Brown.
Brown had a great playoff last year, Ken. In 12 games, he had 2 goals and 10 assists. A point a game from your defense. That is very, very good.
He has proven to be a money player since coming over from Quebec. And Scott Stevens has had the headlines. But don't overlook number 21. Faced by the Blues, Zombo in possession. A pass off the stick of Burr. Then Paul Cavallini has trouble. Loses the puck. Kevin Miller, a shot. Oh, tipped right on by Burr. And a miraculous save by Riendo on Sean Burr.
It was kept in. Garpenloff to Miller to Burr. And what a save by Riendo on Sean Burr as he slid across and made the save of the game, maybe the series.
Sutter at center ice. Pokes it ahead, a breakaway for Lowry, moves it alone, takes a shot, he scores! Dave Lowry! A breakaway goal for Lowry with 1:41 to go. And the Blues lead is 3-0.
Of course, no one has to tell Stevie Yzerman that a lot of pressure is on his shoulders tonight offensively.
Hacked at by Scott Stevens. Spins to the boards as Oates comes out of the box. Chase onto the end boards. Yzerman goes after the puck, number 19. He's checked and the Blues get possession and come up. Adam Oates, number 12. Nice pass to Quinn. He scores! What a pass! 1-0 Blues. Adam Oates set a Blues record with 90 assists during the regular season. Only Wayne Gretzky had more assists than Oates. There's Sergei Fedorov. Poke check by Brown, and now tries to stay with the Soviet. Tried to run him over is what he tried to do. Bouncing puck off the boards. The Red Wings get it. Mark Hampshire in the last minute of the first period. Fedorov worked over again in the corner by Jeff Brown. And Fedorov's man, he came back and jumped on the back of Brown. And he'll be penalized for it. He finally had enough. Brown pushed him around and pushed him into the corner again and again. Finally, Fedorov, after losing his helmet, just came right back after Brown with a cross-check across the back, and he jumped on it. To the side of the net, Yzerman couldn't get the puck. Paul Cavallini and Sergei Fedorov go to it. Fedorov to the point. Chaseoff. Back to Fedorov. Racine one-timed it, blocked. Another shot. Stop. They score. Riendo got a piece of it, then the puck went into the net, and the Red Wings have tied it up on the power play. Riendo couldn't see it, but I think he'll get a piece of this shot.
Yzerman was guilty of getting that stick too high.
Jeff Brown on the power play, over to Adam Oates. He shoots, blocked in front. Brown with the shot, stopped by Cheveldae. Another shot, another save, and the puck is in front. Now it's covered up. Gregson stops the play after Cheveldae made a couple of fine saves with some great shooters all around him.
All right, now watch Brett Hull right here. He's working Zombo over because Brett Hull wants his space, all alone. Oh, Zombo gave him a pretty good shot and then was trying to grab hold of Hull's stick.
Probert slowly through center, cuts in. Puck was taken away. Here's Brett Hull.
Great pass. Guess who? From.
Just onside. 8th of the playoffs for Hull. Oates assists in 1939.
And look at the stick that he's got underneath of his left shoulder.
Rick Green, number 5. In behind the St. Louis net. Out front, he was poke checked by Riendeau, who lost his stick. Green's trying to get back in play. It's a 2-on-1. Paul Cavallini in front, shoots it. Blocked in front. They score! Cavallini gets it to center. Off his brother's skate. Deep into the Red Wing zone. Chevelday cleared the puck outside the blue line. Here's Garth Butcher now. He fell down. Carson's breaking in. Scores! Jimmy Carson has made this a 1-goal game. 3-2 Blues. Bouncing puck. He still kept it inside the blue line. Butcher goes up the boards. Racine kept it in. Eisenman alone in front. But the play had been stopped. The play had been stopped. And not a soul could hear the whistle. The puck must have come outside the blue line when Yves Racine appeared to keep it in 3 times in a row. And a timeout call.
Nobody could hear that whistle, though. The goal judge even put the light on when Yzerman put the puck in the net.
But just before Yzerman buried it, Terry Gregson skated into the scene with his arms in the air. Yzerman won the draw. Racine over to Fedorov, coming in wide on the right wing. Poke check by Scott Stevens. Stevens down, can't get the puck out. Yzerman shot is blocked. Blues win it. The St. Louis Blues have become the 8th team in the history of the NHL to come from a 3-1 series deficit and advance to the next round of the playoffs.